F1 news hot. Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc competing for championship glory. F1 champion Max Verstappen has grown since beating Lewis Hamilton to glory in December, according to former Formula One driver Heikki Kovalainen. The 24-year-old also possesses a strong rivalry with Charles Leclerc, something that dates back to the duo's time go-karting together. And ex-Mercedes star Kovalainen believes the Red Bull driver has changed as he looks to retain his title. Verstappen was able to keep pace with Leclerc in Bahrain last weekend but, in the end, was forced to retire from the race due to an issue with his vehicle. The 24-year-old remains the F1 driver to beat, however, after beating Hamilton to title glory back in December. Verstappen and Leclerc have a strong rivalry on the grid and, now, Kovalainen has expressed a belief the Red Bull star has grown since his championship triumph. Last weekend, in Bahrain, Verstappen was generous when it came to giving his Ferrari counterpart space during the race. And Kovalainen has now explained his observations, telling TalkSport, "For me, Verstappen could have been more aggressive actually both times. I think he probably had two goes with Leclerc, he could have defended once he got ahead. I think he passed him into turn 1 and through turns 2 and 3 he was ahead and I believe he could have just cut across to the other side more aggressively and made Charles lift, or hit him. I fully expected him to do that and then you have a conversation on the radio, Charles complaining what is he doing and whether there's penalties coming or not. But he left him room and he didn't drive, to me, as aggressively as he has before. So it's perhaps a part of learning for Max." On Verstappen and Leclerc specifically, he then added, "I think it was great racing on the limit but no issues this time and I think it probably wasn't just because it was Charles. My feeling is that Max has grown since he won the championship. He's still young and he's still learning and he'll get better and his judgment will get better. But the instinct is always going to be there, and even now when he passed Charles into turn 1 he sent it from quite a way back. That's the instinct of, if there's a gap there I've got to go there otherwise he'll pull away, so you could still see that, but I thought he drove pretty sensibly otherwise and really well. So perhaps a genuine moment of growth for Max since last season." The Finn also thinks Verstappen has learned from his rivalry with Hamilton last year, too. Max is fine-tuning that aggression, fine-tuning that instinct that he obviously has, he said. All the great drivers have this instinct like, Ayrton Senna said if you no longer go for a gap you're no longer a race driver, all the great drivers have always sent it. I believe in Max's case he's still young. He's still fine-tuning that edge and in Lewis' case I think he knows where the line is very well. He can make a conscious decision if he is going to cross that line or not cross that line and over the season you have to balance it out when you're going to risk it when you're not going to risk it. Verstappen was disappointed after Red Bull struggled in Bahrain last time out. And the Red Bull star called on his team to investigate everything in the immediate aftermath of the race. I mean, what happened at the end is obviously very frustrating, but of course before that, quite a few issues, he said. First of all the balance was off. I didn't have the same feeling as on Friday on the long runs, so that was a bit disappointing. Then suddenly my steering, I don't know what happened to that, it was just completely locked and the faster I was going, I could barely steer. So it was not easy on the restart to defend from Carlos. But then I was still in second with that big issue so you think, okay, with all these issues that I've had today, second would be a good result. And then suddenly I had to retire, everything just switched off. It looked like a fuel pump or issue, there was no fuel coming to the engine. Of course these things, you don't want them to happen and it's very painful for the team as well that both cars retired. We need to look into everything.